Eyal Levi here. I'm about to do an unboxing of Into the Fire by Asking Alexandria. These tracks I have in front of me, which are going to be on Nail the Mix this January 2018. And first thing you will notice is that there's a whole lot of tracks. A ton of synth, tons of vocals and vocal production, a fair amount of guitar DIs, no amps, bass and sub bass, and then actually a pretty minimalist drum setup. This is one of those songs where your balancing game is going to be key because there's so much stuff to balance. So let's actually get started with the vocals, because this song kind of lives and dies by the vocals. And one thing that is cool about what Taylor Larson gave us is that the vocal effects here are printed. As you can see, delay tail, FX1, FX2, FX3, these are all vocal effects. And they're given to us, and I think it's because they were so specific that they're more production than mixing. So I'll let you hear what some of these vocals sound like.
Check him out back! Check him out back! Check him out back! I'm not too sure what I'm supposed to do with this.
So if you're wondering what's what, check out this these vocal effects. I'll solo them.
What I'm supposed to do with this instability.
These are very well done effects. So your challenge is going to be to not get carried away with those effects because they do sound that cool. You go back to just playing these vocals, and as you can see, there's also, you got regular Danny vocal, a decent amount of doubles, harmonies, this really cool falsetto bounce. You've also got screams, harmonies, really, it covers the range. Yeah, basically have everything. So, happy vocal mixing with this one. Let's go over to the drums. Like I said, this is a pretty minimalist setup. We just got all microphones, no samples, kick in, kick out, 2 snare tops and a bottom, 3 toms, looks like they've already been cleaned, a hi-hat, which has also been cleaned, overheads, and small room. And to me, it does sound like they were tracked in a small room. Whoa. Let us shut that off. Really got toms only in one section of the song right here. So in order to get the sound or in order to get it to sound as huge as it does on the final, obviously you're going to have to use some samples to beef this up. And this is actually the perfect kind of song to learn how to do this well on, because there's not that many drums, it's not overkill, and there's a lot of space between hits. So you could really focus on what's best about, for instance, snare samples, in my opinion, which is the tail, the part that really makes it sound like it's in a huge room. Taylor did that in his mix, and obviously you're going to have to do that in yours. Let's listen to the room by itself. Definitely sounds like a small room, but again, that gives you more freedom with which to carve this sound and create your own. Bass wise, we've got two bass tracks. It looks like a DI and a programmed sub bass. Programmed sub bass is usually done when you want either an inhuman low end or a more consistent low end than a bass guitar can provide. So play just the DI by itself. And usually what's done is that there would be some sort of a high-pass filter around 100 or 150, and then you let the sub bass take the rest. It's like a crossover. And then you just have to balance them together so they sound like one instrument, and that's actually the toughest part with two bass lines. Some people love this technique, some people hate it, but here it is for you to try it. As far as the guitars go, besides this intro print right here, which is just a print of an affected lo-fi of the main line, we've got all DIs for these guitars. So about that, back, I'll let you hear the DIs. Actually, very well recorded DIs. And I just threw Tone Forge Jason Richardson on there because that's what Taylor used on the record. But, you can use whatever you want. And in a song like this, guitars are less of a lead instrument and more of a supporting role. So lots of you guys that are used to mixing metal songs with raging guitars are going to have to actually use restraint on this one so that the guitars don't swallow the vocals or swallow the synth. Just remember, this is going to be a supporting role guitar song. And I'll let you hear some of the riffs. As you can hear, they're not crazy riffs. It's not really about the riffs. It's about the song overall and about how catchy the vocals are. Last but not least, we have a lot of synth. And it looks like we've got synth orchestra, kinds of different risers, impacts, and some woe synth, whatever woe synth might be. Let's listen to woe synth. That stuff is really, really cool. I'm actually going to mute the the track known as Ear Grenade, because I don't want it to destroy your systems. But let's just listen to these synths on their own. There's a lot going on. As you can hear, everything together, just vocals and synth arrangement, just sounds massive. And you're still going to have to fit a rock band in there to go with it. So be very, very sparing with your EQ. Be careful with your balance. And make sure that you don't get carried away with any one element and that you're thinking of it holistically. I'll let you hear a few more of these synths, like I believe this is the chorus. Let you hear these synths by themselves now, just so you can hear what makes up such a huge sound. See, that sounds so cool. It's just like you want to get carried away with it, but you still got drums, bass, and guitar, and stacks and stacks and stacks of vocals to contend with. So it's actually going to be a pretty tough mix, but it'll put some hair on your chest.